What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I ran 13.1 miles on Saturday. Did my second half marathon of my life. I think I'm going to try to do some more of those. It had been 12 years between the first and the second. Probably 12 years is how you feel like sometimes between me hitting home runs, even though I thought last week we were definitely on a better track until, well, Friday got disgusting. Friday was a disturbingly bad day, but outside of that, got back on track on Sunday. Split in the NBA. Now there's no NBA now going on Monday, making it all MLB. Happy to have all of you NBA viewers if you're checking out, trying to find a little bit of action in your day here in the MLB streets. I'm here to talk you through it. If this is your first time seeing the video, welcome. I'm an interesting person. Second thing, this is how we operate. We have leans, likes, and locks. Now, the leans, those are things that I have not bet yet, or I need to see what the number is for finalized product. All the home run numbers are not out yet. So therefore, when I talk home runs, when I talk total bases, when I talk strikeouts, I'm generally projecting for the future, trying to give you an indication of where I think the lines might end up. But for the most part, just no leans associated with me not having a bet out yet. A like, that is something that I have bet. It is something that I like. Simple enough, right? Now, it's not the lock category. Usually about a half unit is what I'm looking at for a lot of my likes here in MLB during the regular season, because, you know, I'm getting exposure to different parts of it. More games than you're going to be running into in an NBA season, that's for sure. So my like units usually being around 1 over in the old NBA, but the locks, those are definitely your unit or more type bets. We've had a couple of those on run lines recently. A couple of them worked out really, really nicely. 2 weeks ago, absolutely smashed. Had the locks go 9-2, and then this last week, we're not even going to talk about it because it was pain, suffering, and sadness. But you know what? We're here to rebound. We're here to come back off of kind of a interesting tail end of last week. Enough dilly-dallying, though. We've got 12 games on this slate. Check out Bet365. We'll talk about them a little bit later. They're in the video description box below if you're in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. But I'll talk about them later. Let's just get ourselves to the pick, shall we? Mets, Nationals running it back here again. They're playing early morning baseball here. David Peterson taking on Patrick Corbin. Fun little baseball game we have in the morning corridor. So much so that I'm going to have to bet it, that's for sure. Peterson, a 494 expected slugging, 353 xWOBA. Like the strikeout rate, 25.5%. That's about where it was last year, 27.8% last year. So down a little bit, but still within the ballpark. My major thing, 7.68 ERA, 5.26 expected ERA, way worse than we were seeing last year. I started going through some of the velocity numbers, down a mile per hour. These are noticeable things. These are not going to be good for you going forward, Mr. David Peterson, so maybe figure it out. Not that Patrick Corbin's figured it out in any way, shape, or form. A 312 expected batting average, 502 expected slugging. I really like the over of 9. Now, it is juiced just a little bit above standard juice as it is right now. I could see this moving into the minus 125 realm on over 9, or you're going to have that loop back around to 9.5, where it's currently plus money at a couple books. I could see this being 9.5 uniform across the entire board tomorrow morning. So as soon as you hear this play, get a half unit in on it. That's what I did. That's what you should do. Let's party hardy. Let's get the party started. Party hard, party hard. Yes. Andrew WK in the house. Over 9, my friends. Mets, Washington, pretty straightforward. We go from an over to a definite under here for me. The Angels and the Orioles teeing off in this one. It's expected to be Shohei Ohtani, although there are some books that don't even have it up, but it's across all the major books as it is right now. Going to be Ohtani going up against Rodriguez here. Grayson Rodriguez. I like the strikeout stuff that we've seen from young Grayson Rodriguez, 27.7%. Outside of that, though, there are some problems, some warts. A 4.86 expected ERA. The hard hits at 51.6%. He's primarily a fastball changeup guy, and, well, the changeup needs to be the primary pitch at a certain point because the fastball, it's actually a really good fastball, but it's getting tuned up right now. A 340 batting average, 331 expected batting average. These are bad things. These need to get fixed. Overall, though, I think out of any Baltimore starter. I know we saw Taylor Wells go completely nuts on Saturday. I don't care. Grayson Rodriguez would be the one pitcher I would take with me on the road for this organization. You could keep everybody else. Take Kyle Gibson, take him wherever you want. Technically, don't take him. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani's really good at pitching, and we've established that. We have, cool, sounds great. He's going to be facing this Baltimore team, and again, righty power is neutralized in this ballpark, and that's what a lot of the Angels' bats are, outside of course, the guy who's pitching, who is a pretty good little lefty bat, but otherwise, for the most part, the Angels, just a 105 WRC plus against right-handed pitching, whereas that number is 117 against lefties, still above average in both departments, but that's another thing going for Grayson Rodriguez, and harder to hit it out of left field here in this ballpark. The hardest, in fact, in terms of home run percentage out to left. That's what happens when you extend your feet, or the feet of your wall back, 20 feet, 30 feet? Wild stuff there in Baltimore. Aaron Judge still has had no problem hitting it out of there, but that's Aaron Judge. He doesn't count. Let's take an under of 8, shall we? Pretty straightforward play again. So we go over 9, first game, under 8, second game. Hey, 2 plays from the first 2 games doesn't happen every day. We get the main card going here, and kind of a weird fashion. I don't know why the books don't have a number out on this one as of recording right now. Whatever. It's Sunday night. I'm going to move on with my life. Just like Johnny Brito should move on to trying to pitch. He's going to be your starter here for the Yankees. They're going to be on the road in Toronto taking on Alek Manoah, who is in the middle of a horrific season for a player assumed to be of his caliber, that's for sure. But starting on the Brito side, nothing has been awesome. Nothing's been cool when he's part of the team. I love doing that bit. 5.81 ERA, 1.48 whip. Yikes, Scoobs. Giving up 5 homers in his last 3 games. Seems important when you're facing a Toronto lineup. They're really good against right-handed hitters, against right-handed pitching, 108 WRC plus, 165 ISO. Everything is tuning up for them. And then Alek Manoah on the other side of this one. What's going on, dude? 381 xWOBA, 278 expected batting average, just a 16.8% K rate. Not that that had ever been his calling card, but that's down precipitously from his career average of 22.8% coming into this season. Well, it's 22.8% now, excuse me. But either way, I'm looking at 16.8% in that K rate. That is really, really bad. His primary pitch, the sinker, getting only a 10.2% whiff percentage. That would be bad for Little League. So it's probably pretty bad for the Toronto Blue Jays facing a team as good as what the New York Yankees are. So prepare for Judge and Bader. Darth Bader really coming to the plate and just creating a little bit of that. But I don't really care. I'm looking at the Toronto side. I think if I had to do anything in this spot, I would be targeting the crap out of Brito, because I think Alek Manoah eventually is going to start figuring it out. Now, he's got a velocity issue as well. Now, the fastball has been down nearly a mile per hour. The sinker has been down, well, sinker's about exactly where it was last season, so not going to be picking too much fun on him, even though I think we probably should in some capacity. Thought about the over. It's projecting out decently well, but I think Toronto -1.5, just a lean. Nothing from this game going to be on the card except for, tell you what, there's going to probably be some home run props showing up in my life from this one. The Seattle Mariners taking on the Boston Red Sox, who are playing baseball right now. I took the over of that game. Please keep scoring runs. It was 2-1, top of 2. That would be nice to get a W through there. But George Kirby on the mound going up against Tanner Houck of the Red Sox. Let's start with George Kirby. It's kind of an interesting dude. So I've never been a diehard fan on the same level as some other people who break this down for a living. I just think George Kirby's a little bit, dare I say it, a little bit overrated. And then he goes out and strikes out, 9 in 7 innings against Texas and completely makes me look like an idiot. I love the fact that he doesn't walk batters. I love that we're starting to see some decent strikeout stuff in some spots, but just 24.5% last year at just a 20% K rate this season. Now, did he figure something out? Because he's had 3 straight ground ball games of 10 or more. when you start seeing stuff like that, generally, you're not afraid of having contact put on you because, well, it's Framber Valdez. It's these guys where, yes, if I'm getting the ball hit hard, at least it's on the ground. It's not going for extra bases. It's not going for homers. And a .96 whip. Again, that's what happens when you have a 1.7% walk rate, which is just an absurd number. So George Kirby, he's starting to grow on me a little bit, but I'm still just not in love with backing him every single time out, except for maybe this one. We'll see. I really like the lefties from the Red Sox lineup, which has been performing a lot better than anybody would ever expected coming into the season. But Tanner Houck on the other side of this one, better numbers than you might expect for Tanner Houck. A .371 expected slugging, 299 xWOBA. He has just a 20.6% K rate himself, but that's still actually better than that of George Kirby. He gets the Seattle matchup, which is a lot better than the one on the other end. My major thing here is that the Red Sox artificially get a bump for what that lineup is, and Tanner Houck is not as good as George Kirby. I'm more than happy to say that. I don't think anybody would start their team with Tanner Houck over George Kirby. So I'm not that out on George Kirby. And we're seeing -110. They're basically just giving you a pick 'em in this spot. That is very clearly a lean on the Seattle money line here for me. Haven't bet it yet just because there's a lot of games on the slate. I know there'll be other plays that I like from a prop perspective. Don't want to have too much on the card too early that doesn't stand out. I've got a couple of things that are really standing out in the evening window, but Seattle money line, just going to be a lean on a guy that, well, he's proven me wrong number of times here. 3 straight outings now of 7+ innings. 10+ ground balls. 2 of those, he had 7 and 9 strikeouts. Crazy stuff from George Kirby. Hopefully he keeps it going. We got the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the team playing opposite the Red Sox right now, the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis. Freddie Peralta, Fastball Freddie taking on Jack Flaherty. We'll start with Fastball Freddie. That'll make it super clean and easy. He's awesome. A 27.1% K rate, a 35.2% hard hit percentage. He throws 55% fastballs. They're really good. In fact, it's one of my favorite pitches in baseball just because it's not exactly like he's throwing mad heat up there. Throws at 95, but he can definitely move it in different spots. The location's been pretty spot on. And then when you combine it with his slider that has a 47.8% whiff percentage, everything is coming roses if you're Freddie Peralta. And I really like everything that he's doing this season. His expected ERA is up 3.56, but as the season goes on, I expect that to neutralize closer to that 2.7, 2.66 that he had the last 2 seasons. He's really good at the throwing of the baseballs is what I'm getting at. You know who hasn't been this year? Jack Flaherty. 375 xWOBA. What are we even doing here, dude? A 15.3% walk rate. That's always one of my favorite things to pick on with him. He's been getting by on pure luck, and yet it's still not going well. 6.18 ERA, 6.07 expected ERA. I mean, this is just wild to see these big of numbers for a guy with as much name recognition as Jack Flaherty, but telling you, his fastball's not very good. He's throwing it 40% of the time. It averages out right around 93 miles per hour with limited spin at 2260 RPMs, and then nothing really that I'm all that enthusiastic about with these complementary pitches. I think you just want to be picking on him constantly here, and there's a guy in his division who's seen him a lot already, and I don't ever look at BVP, so don't come at me with that stuff. Like, I'm not going to be that guy for you, but I am going to be that guy for Christian Yelich once he starts to hit the ball in the air, like we saw for the first time in a long time this weekend. I'm very excited about a Christian Yelich who's had a good back, who's now been healthy for the first month and a half of a season for the first time in a very, very long time, a 493 expected slugging, and a 57.5% hard hit percentage. I'm telling you, this is the best version of Yelich we have seen in years. Since his MVP season, he's always been able to get on base and always been able to run, always been able to figure things out to that perspective. The walk rate's actually been a little bit down, just 9.8% there, but still, the 57.5% hard hit percentage and 5.7 degree launch angle. I know that doesn't sound like a lot because it's not. You generally would want optimally 10 to 13 degrees to be gearing towards a home run, but that, my friends, is actually an improvement on the last 2 seasons. Get this, 2.8 degree average launch angle in 2021, 3.6 in 2022, so a little bit better, but 5.7 degrees is a drastic improvement, starting to get back to those MVP caliber spots. 2020, 7.1 degree launch angle, 11.3 in 2019. You want to know why those home runs fell off for just a cliff? Because he wasn't hitting the ball in the air. He was still making decently hard contact, 48.6% last year, 48.8% the year before that. I'm really encouraged by 57.5% hard hit percentage with an improved launch angle. So, all clear for Landoff. There we are. Let's go Christian Yelich to hit bombs off the runway. Jack Flaherty is terrible. He's horrible. So we're going to lean the Yelich side as long as we're getting better than plus 350, which in St. Louis, we shouldn't have a problem with that ballpark being open for business for our money. Christian Yelich, 2 home run on Monday. Heading to Texas, we're going to Arlington here next. Gonna be a good one. I don't know why I'm Farmer Fran in that analogy, but either way, we got Charlie Morton on the mound here going for Atlanta. He's gonna be taking on Dane Dunning. And this is yet another one where we know the starting pitchers and the books just said, hey, Eric, I'm gonna make your job harder tonight for absolutely no effing reason. Thanks, books, appreciate you. But either way, Dane Dunning, that's the announced starter we're waiting on here, and he's been great so far this season. 3-0, 1.72 ERA, 0.86 whip, but it's not that matters to me. He's right now right around 70, 75 pitches and finding ways to still get deep into games, and he's going to need that against Atlanta, one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball. No doubt about it. I'm a little bit surprised by this fact. Against right-handed pitching this season, Atlanta, a 99 WRC plus. Yes, way worse than I was expecting. In fact, they've been doing all of their damage against left-handed pitching, which shouldn't make I guess that's not nonsensical when you take into account Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna starting to hit pretty decently, Kevin Pillar at the back half of that lineup. A lot of right-handed power, Ozzy Albies from both sides of the plate here. It's just interesting to me. They have a 147 WRC plus and a 242 ISO against lefties, because those are like elite beyond elite numbers. And then against righties, just pretty neutralized. So Dane Dunning may be in a better spot than you might have expected coming in. But I'm still going to be backing the Atlanta side of this one here. The one reason I think we might be waiting on this line is Corey Seager went to a AA assignment. Maybe he ends up playing in this baseball game. I currently do not have him in the projected lineup. It wouldn't completely shock me, but he has been yet to complete a 9-inning game there in AA. And he hasn't looked all that great so far either. Over 2, it looks like in his first 2 outings. He was hitting 359 though at the beginning of the season. If Corey Seager's healthy, you just bring him up. Hell, just DH him for a little bit. Do something if he's going to be healthy there. But I think that might be the one piece we're waiting on. And that's a big deal when you talk about a lefty that would be in the lineup there against Charlie Morton, where that's where he's been struggling. However, Morton definitely recovered after an interesting start to his season. Pretty lethargic. Last couple decays have ramped up. 9, 6, and 7 in his last 3 starts. The ground balls are up. The fly balls are down. I think there's better spots on the card, though. Atlanta money line, just going to be a lean for me. Oh, hello, friends. Bet365 is available in only 4 states right now in the U.S. It's available to my friends in Canada, too, there in that link below. But you have Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia. If you live in one of those 4 states, Colorado, Ohio, New Jersey, Virginia, congratulations. You're eligible for this ridiculously stupid promotion. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it's like ridiculous to Bet365 would offer this up to people. Here's what you do. You go to the link below, you click on it, you sign up, you deposit $10, and then you bet $1. Yes, just $1 on anything going on over at Bet365. Doesn't have to be MLB. It could be High-Lie. It could be table tennis. It could be whatever the hell they have that if there is a bet on the board and you put $1 on it, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets instantly with no other legwork. Yes, that is all you need. Hell, it could be arm work. I don't care. It's leg day, though, on Monday. So check this out right now in that comment section below. Click on that Bet365 link. Deposit $10, bet 1, get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. It's only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. I talked about him a little bit earlier, breaking down some analysis, but Framber Valdez, the ground ball specialist himself, facing Jameson Taillon, who's had a very nice start to the season here for the Cubs. But yeah, Houston going to be hosting the Cubbies. Taillon, a 28.1% K rate. 307 xWOBA, 36.2% hard hit percentage. These aren't numbers you would necessarily go running out of your way to go pick on. That's for sure. Yet I think we're going to. Just with a bat, though, that's for sure. And here's the thing, Taillon, it hasn't shown up in the box score for him. A 6.41 ERA. It's not great. I'm going to call that extremely unlucky based on all of his batted ball data. And in fact, his max exit velocity, 108.3 miles per hour. That's the lowest of his career so far. We're talking when the hardest hit balls are hit, he has still found a way to limit the damage and limit the way that it's coming off the bat for other people. I mean, kind of makes me double check what I want to be doing here. But I know what I want to be doing here because Yordan Alvarez is a different human being. But I should break down Framber Valdez for all you people who are just looking for outrights, looking for information about both starting pitchers. And I hope you know by now Houston has a very good bullpen, but either of Valdez, a 303 xWOBA, 27.1% K rate, 4.8% walk rate. But my favorite thing to always talk about with him, the 63.6% ground ball rate, which is right around his 66.3% career ground ball percentage. Do you know what the MLB average is for ground ball percentage? I'm waiting. Go ahead, throw out a guess. You're wrong. 44.8%. Dude has a 66.3% ground ball percentage for his career. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen from a starting pitcher. I love it so much. And that's just kind of what it is. Again, the hard hit is always going to be there to a certain extent. He's happy to give it up because it's coming out with a 1.3 degree average launch angle, which is actually higher than last year where it had a negative sign in front of it for most of the year. Not 46% hard hit percentage, not ideal. Again, not ideal, but that sinker, it sinks, it keeps the ball on the ground. But alluded to it earlier, I'm looking at a bat here. It's Yordan Alvarez going up against any righty on planet Earth, especially one that, despite decent StatCast data, has not had it show up in the box score for him. Give me the 537 expected slugging, 384 xWOBA, and career 301 isolated power number for Yordan Alvarez against right-handed pitchers. So yeah, I'm looking at 1.5 total bases. I bet it on Sunday. Easy cash money, homie. That was fun. So let's just run it back. Over 1.5 total bases. Thought about throwing in his home run prop there as well, just for the people, because, you know, people want stuff like that. But want to mix in some good plus money bets, and I expect this to have a plus sign in front of it facing Taillon. It was right in that ballpark again on Sunday. No reason that it would change against a better starter here. Giolito to Taillon, both of them struggling to a certain extent. But either way, I'm going to be going Yordan Alvarez for all good things on Monday. I don't know what it is about Coors Field that's had my number this season, but I'm showing negative ROI. Oh yeah, I'm getting murdered at Coors this year. So take all this analysis with a grain of salt. Hunter Greene on the mound, my boy. I love him more than anybody other than my wife and my dog, and then Hunter Greene probably. He's going to be facing Connor Seabold here, and yeah, he so boldly goes where others have gone before, which is yard in Coors Field. I don't know. I just saw him give up 3 home runs the other night against Milwaukee. They were all solo shots. That was back on the 4th of May. I don't know why I know that off the top of my head. I'm not looking at the box score. Now I am. It was on the 4th of May. Numbers. I tell you what, us and baseball people were weird. But anyway, he had a start against Pittsburgh that I don't even remember sandwiched in between it. 3 Ks, 3 walks, 1 earned. Better outing from him, but it was on the road in Pittsburgh, and at home this season, it is, it's still terrible like it is for every pitcher, period. He's actually been worse on the road with a 4.82 ERA, but a 4.40 ERA at home with a 1.40 whip and a 3.10 batting average against. Ooh, boy. Have fun. Yeah, Cincinnati, are they good against righties? Absolutely freaking not. 87 WRC plus, 136 ISO, but it's Coors Field. That's why you're looking at this side of the screen and you're seeing 11.5. That is a big total. And part of that is Hunter Greene when he is not throwing at 101 miles per hour past people. He's giving up long balls and, well, can't do that in Coors. 2 homers, 1 homer in his last. So yeah, I can count to 3. Good job, Eric. 3 home runs in his last 2 outings, 7 earned in that time span as well. 0-3 on the season with a 1.49 whip. Would love to see the walks go away at some point in my life. That would be great. 4 of them against the Mets. My year-long team would thank you, Hunter Greene. But either way, He's a pitcher that I'm still going to be starting tomorrow. I feel disgusting doing it in Coors, but I don't know. Who else am I going to start? I have to choose between him and Merrill Kelly. I'm going to start Hunter Green. Give me the strikeouts. Let's go, my dude. Get it done. Cincinnati money line, -125 here. And one big piece of news to be paying attention to when it comes to this Colorado lineup, CJ Cron left Sunday's game early it was. So be on the lookout there. He only had 2 at-bats. I think with back spasms, which is what it sounds like it is, he could be out for the foreseeable future. I'm just throwing it out there. I know that hasn't been reported yet. Nothing's been official. He has not been put on the IL yet, but I would be very shocked to see CJ Cron, who I find to be the best power bat in that lineup. It's him and Chris Bryant, 1-2 in some capacity, even though, Bryant's hitting 301. That's a lot better than 226 there from CJ Cron, but it would be a huge upgrade to get Moose Tacos out there, who's just not all that good. It's just not. So there you go. That's my long-winded answer. Cincinnati money line. Think it's a decent add to the card. I like it. To our last lean before we just get all crazy in the last 3 games of the night. Lock. Yeah, it's wild stuff coming up. I know I said 4 things and it's 3 games, but you'll see what I'm talking about. We're combining some stuff. It's going to be fun. I promise. I'm fun at parties. You should invite me. Actually, don't. That's creepy. Merrill Kelly on the mound against Drew Rosinski. Could you tell I was waiting for my spreadsheet to load and I was just stalling for time? There it is. Drew Rosinski is not good. A 320 expected batting average, 8.2% K rate. That ain't it, buddy. That ain't it. But Merrill Kelly's had his own little struggles this season. It's looked good in the box score. 3.18 ERA, 1.15 whip, but I think you know by now, I care a lot more about what could potentially go wrong for a pitcher or what could potentially go right for a pitcher and trying to read in between the lines, because otherwise you're just taking the information and not doing anything with it. 25.6% K rate. I love seeing that. It's beautiful stuff. And to be honest, that's not the Merrill Kelly way. He's generally been around a 21% career strikeout guy. That's way up. But so are the walks, an 11.1% walk rate. I'm a little bit nervous to see that. I also see the fastball has ticked down 0.5 mile per hour, which, again, it's still early-ish in the season. We don't want to be hitting the panic button on certain things there. And I love seeing the ground ball rate, 49.1%. So there's good things, there's bad things, there's good things, there's bad things. I just think that it's going to even out a little bit more than what it has so far this season, considering he has a 4.36 expected ERA, which is way worse than his 3.18 ERA. Again, these are the things that matter to me going forward. Otherwise, you're just looking at box scores and saying he did this last time and expecting him to do it again going forward. I hope you understand that by now. Most of you understand that by now, right? Good talk. Glad we had it. Now, Oakland, 92 WRC plus, 149 ISO. Nothing is all that fantastic there, so it's a good matchup for Merrill Kelly, that's for sure. Probably going to be starting him too in my year-long league, if we're going to be honest. It's going to be a little strange, but I am definitely looking at runs being scored in this one because I like the Arizona side facing Rosinski a lot. 8.16 ERA, 2.09 whip. I know it's only 3 starts, but those 3 starts have been horrible. So there you go. I'm leaning on the over of 8.5. The only reason I haven't liked it is I do have that fondness in my heart for Merrill Kelly. Let's get funky. Turn it up. Left foot, left stomp. Kansas City, San Diego. Oh boy, I'm ready for all the flack coming on this one, that's for sure. But we got Michael Wacha on the mound for San Diego taking on Brad Keller. And Brad Keller, he continues to be a little bit unimpressive to me. That's for darn sure. Nothing like that Mitch Keller fellow, which where did this come from? I don't know. Nobody was talking about Mitch Keller before the season. Now, I mean, he's up there with Strider in terms of Cy Young conversation after that Baltimore outing. Don't want to jinx him, but Brad Keller, an 18% walk rate. Whenever that is the actual number and you're an actual starter in baseball, you probably suck. It's worse than his 16.3% K rate, which is unbelievable to think about that. 348 xWOBA, but a 235 expecting batting average, a 388 expected slugging, and he gets a San Diego matchup that I think everybody was really worried about coming into this season, especially right-handed pitchers. But it'd be pitching in Petco, They have a 25.2% K rate and just a 90 WRC plus against right-handed pitching. Those are not good numbers. There's a reason the Dodgers are once again front runners, taking it and running with it in the NL West. Every year, everybody tries to make the Padres a thing here, and they continue to struggle here. And my other thing about this is Michael Wacha. He has a 28.8% hard hit percentage, which is great. He's a fly ball pitcher, extreme fly ball pitcher for the most part. But just an 18.6% K rate and a 471 expected slugging, 265 expected batting average. You got MJ Melendez, Sal Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, Michael Massey. These are dudes who crunch baseballs. Even Edward Olivares. I like Kansas City at the top of this lineup. And hey, maybe Freddie Fermin can come along for the ride here, and they're going to play MJ Melendez in the outfield from here on out. That would be great. I know Sal Perez, it was announced, was having some issues seeing the baseball, that he had blurry vision. Well, all he did over the weekend was hit back-to-back jacks on Saturday and Sunday, so I think he's showing some improvement in that regard, and I don't think this number is all that correct. Now, I thought about putting the money line here, but I know how some of you guys freak out, and I have them projected awfully close. So if you want to be aggressive, plus 176, best current available number on FanDuel, but I'm going to wait on that one. I do think we might get some plus 180, plus 185 type numbers if we are patient. But the plus 1.5 on the old run line here is beautiful with Kansas City. We're talking an even money bet. Minus 110, well, not even money bet, a standard juice bet, minus 110 here on FanDuel Sportsbook. That is really nice if you ask me. Like on the Kansas City getting a run and a half, plus 1.5, they cover for us in San Diego. We got Philly taking on San Francisco, going to be fun stuff. We got Bailey Falter on the mound here, and boy, we are going to start the procession for my soul right here. Oh, we got him and Alex Wood, two lefties on the mound, but we're going to start with Bailey Falter because he has been faltering really hard of late. 5.75 ERA, 0-6 record on the season. I mean, Phillies are disappointing as is. It just is what it is. Philadelphia, Sixers, Phillies, Eagles. There's been a lot of disappointment for Philadelphia in the last couple of months. I know that my producer over here, Jacob, he's really sad about that as a Boston-born man or a Boston fan. I think he's doing okay. I think he's going to be smiling after this show. But either way, Bailey Falter, I'm not positive what to make of it, but I am positive that San Francisco is a great get-right spot to try to get your first win. Number one, great ballpark. Number two, 83 WRC plus against lefties on the season with a 26.8% K rate. That is the fourth highest in baseball. Only a 126 ISO. I think if you can't get a good start out of Bailey Falter here, you just are never going to get it. He also, I mean, JD Davis is back in action. He's been awesome so far in the StatCast department, but Jock Peterson, you're neutralizing him being a lefty. You have Michael Conforto. You have Lamont Wade Jr. has been on fire with a 427 xWOBA, and he'll probably be in the lineup against every lefty going forward anyway. But you have Estrada and Flores who've been struggling to put hard hits on the ball from the right side. 30.7% hard hit percentage and 33.3% hard hit percentage. That's not nice. That's not nice. But let's talk through this San Francisco situation, because I think this gives me a buffer for the bet that I want to be putting down. Alex Wood on the mound again. He pitched on Friday. Now, he only pitched one inning, 31 pitches. So you have to break down this bullpen. You're just expecting this to be another bullpen game. I can't imagine that they treated that 31 pitches as if though he was doing like a midweek bullpen session and he's going to get ramped up to 70 or 75. They might, but it would really surprise me if that was going to be the case, considering they just got him back here after nearly a month out. So I'm just going to be paying close attention to the news on this one. But I think we kind of want to lock in this play ahead of time right now, just in case this becomes a bullpen game, because I love bullpen games for unders, especially in ballparks like San Francisco and with bullpens where I know there's going to be some lefties. Now, you have both of the Rogers, and one's righty, one's lefty. The Submariner righty, the lefty, is what it is. But they've both been so effective out of this bullpen. I like Duvall. I know that he's had some interesting stuff this season, but he throws some heat. A 179 expected batting average, 35.4% K rate is off the chain. You got John Brebbia, who ended up being that other pitcher that came in on Friday. Lots of interesting pieces that could make life hell here for the old Phillies. I know Bryce Harper got ejected there today today being Sunday. I think he'll be in the lineup once again here, but lots of lefties, lots of interesting matchups that San Francisco can create. And obviously we know how much they love creating matchups in the batting department. That's a whole headache of itself, but I'm feeling the under of this game big time. In fact, I've got this game around 7.3 runs, which is pretty wild because, well, a healthy Phillies lineup with Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos starting to hit, Trey Turner, who's been a little bit suboptimal so far this season, but it's still Trey Turner, and Alec Boehm should project out better than that. Oh yeah, and JT Realmuto, just one of the best hitting catchers in baseball. And yet it doesn't, because I look at some of these matchups San Francisco can create with their pitching staff. I think we want to be taking the money line with it. So I'm just combining the two, putting a unit on it, and moving on with my life. Lock City, my friend. San Francisco money line plus the under of 8.5. Both are projecting out really nicely for me. Think they make an awesome addition to the card before our last game of the night and last lock of the night. Let's get to it, producer Jacob. My Minnesota Twins. Yeah, buddy. Pablo Lopez, my dude, taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers and the corpse, and I do mean the corpse of Noah Syndergaard. Let's go through him first here, shall we? 14.8% K rate. Awful. 286 expected batting average. Horrible. Nice to see the 36.3% hard hit percentage. Really nice job. Good effort, buddy. But a 6.12 ERA, a 4.79 expected ERA. This is not Noah Syndergaard as you used to know him. The last couple of years have been a struggle bus, and I think it's pretty wild. He's only 30 years old, but yet there's just nothing in the tank. I know how many injuries he fought during his time in New York. He ends up going with the Angels for a hot second and bounces around and whatever. Philadelphia in 2022. It was Philly, yeah. Yeah, is that correct? He was never with the Angels. It's just the Dodgers, right? Yeah, Dodgers. Philadelphia, Mets, Dodgers. I thought he was with the Angels, though. It's not showing it on Baseball Savant. Wild. I'm going to have to double check after this program. But either way, that's not what matters. What matters is when you go through his StatCast data, it is horrible. And then it's just a fly ball rate up to 27.4%. And Minnesota, we're going to have to wait on Joey Gallo news. Kind of a bummer there. But I really don't think it cares in the context of this game, because I'm still going to be doing the same thing I'm always going to do because of Pablo Lopez. But I would love to see some Joey Gallo props on the board. I would love to see Alex Kirilloff. Love that they went 1-2 against a righty for the first time all season long. Just resulted in, I don't know, infinity runs that they put up on Sunday. Put up a nice, 16 spot that we had against the Cubbies. Beautiful stuff against Marcus Stroman, who's been really good this season. But I just think that's how good Alex Kirilloff and Joey Gallo are. Kind of called that one coming into this season. No big. I did not call Pablo Lopez having this season, though. My God. 3.47 ERA, actually been unlucky. 1.07 whip is fantastic. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball here, and this whole entire Minnesota Twins starting staff has been so impressive, and he's been leading the way. A 31.2% K rate, a 212 expecting batting average, 289 xWOBA. Looking at the four-seamer changeup combination, everything is across the board solid. Don't love the 9.3% barrel percentage, and of course, there are some Dodgers bats that can really, really hurt right-handed pitching. That's why they have the second best WRC plus against righties and a 219 ISO. You get Outman on his preferred side, which seems like a weird upgrade, but they do get JD Martinez back. They get, close to their full strength lineup. Obviously, Gavin Lux, the only guy who will be out for the entire season there. But otherwise, they've got their A++ team back. Feels crazy, though. I'm going to be targeting them because I think Pablo Lopez is that good and Noah Syndergaard is just that bad. Minnesota money line. Lock it up, friends. I think that's as clear cut as it gets. They should be bigger favorites. They should be. And they're not. I don't really know what else to add. Should I just keep talking? Should we go? It's just weird. I don't have to talk NBA today. I don't want to talk NBA today. How are Celtics fans feeling? I bet you're feeling okay. Are you, you're going to deal with this? Whatever else. Yeah. Twins, even money shouldn't be that way. They should be favored. They're not. That's it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, MLB edition. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on Monday's slate. Let's get this week started off right. I just saw Andrew Kanizer Soze just hit a home run, and this game is going to go way over. Let's go. St. Louis, Boston, getting my week started off right. Let's get yours too. Get that Yelly homer. Get those locks in the late window done. And then sign up at Bet365 if you're in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. Guarantee yourself $200 in bonus bets right now by signing up in the video description box below. So many goodies down in that video description box below, between Odd Shopper, between all the sports books, everything you could possibly imagine. Sign up for down there. Alrighty, y'all. I'll be back on Tuesday. Let's have a great week. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Monday.